Hi, I'm Dawn,
Hey, and I'm John.
and this is Mileage May Vary, and we have a very special guest with us today. We have Noah. Noah, how's it going?
How's it going, guys? Good, doing well. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, most definitely. And we were kicking off here with a little bit of conversation. I know John here is new to AI, and that's really what we're going to be talking about today. AI and the human perspective of AI and how we can humanize AI. But before we do that, Noah, tell me a little bit about Mental Forge Media.
So, Mental Forge began in 2015 as a multimedia project spearheaded by my father, James. He was trying to get some partners and investors for his own creative pipeline and kind of get those projects out there into the ether. And to his credit, he actually managed to do that over the course from between 2014 to almost to the end of 2019. He had developed a very deep bench of creative partners, and he was finally getting in the room with investors that can help get those projects off the ground. But this thing happened in 2020. You guys might remember it. It was called COVID.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I might have missed that one.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
I
It's a
didn't miss
it
it.
was
It
a
was
crazy
there.
thing, man. If you missed it, I don't know where you were, but March 2020 came, shut the whole world down, the film industry along with it, and all the effort and the headway my dad had made before was totally mothballed. All the momentum he'd made was totally just out the window overnight. And so Mental Forge went dormant for about 3 years. And then in the end of 2023, early 2024, his best friend, who is a lawyer out in Arizona, got in touch with him and said, "Hey, what do you know about AI?" And my dad, being the rational, level-headed, calm man he is, said, "Well, I'd like it to clean my toilets and wash my dishes. Thank you very much." He didn't really have a tremendous taste for it, but I think there's a certain level of intrinsic intrigue to AI just as a topic, and that I think that's what kind of drew him toward an AI for Learning course from the University of Dublin. And two things happened when he took that course. One, he very quickly realized how much the AI was going to affect the areas of business and education. But he was also like, why is no one talking about this from a national security perspective? Because powerful, impressive, and then useful as these tools are, they can be devastating in untrained or unscrupulous hands. And so I'm 31. My dad's been a teacher for pretty much all my life, and he has always strived for a more well-rounded, better informed society. And so he was like, people need to know how to use this stuff and how to identify it, how to circumvent it, how to survive in an AI-driven world. And so we set to work creating training frameworks, teaching material, all kinds of stuff. And that's what we've been doing for the past almost 2 years now. About a year and a half, we've been at it, just helping these training materials get into the public eye, let people know what AI is, what AI is not, and ultimately how it can help us and how we can reap the benefits together.
And, I think everybody, this is such a new thing for a lot of people. John, you don't use a lot of AI right now, correct?
I don't know.
But
And
it is a.
it is strong in our industry. A lot of people are using it on marketing level. Okay.
Mhm.
As far as what we see coming is the manual physical labor of the technician, not, but to find. So when we have a problem with the vehicle, the vehicle will communicate with a diagnostic trouble code.
Mhm.
Okay. So what we're finding is AI will help us diagnose that trouble code quicker than we
Absolutely.
physically can
Yep.
do it.
Yeah, 100%. That is exactly the benefit of having AI in the loop with you. Obviously, you never want to filter the humans out, but having AI powered equipment to test code on the cars and stuff, that is going to be an invaluable technological advancement in the automotive industry as we move forward. John, you look like you're more on the maintenance side of the auto industry. Have you done sales or anything like that, or like what's your kind of auto industry repertoire that you've got there?
I'm very strong in the automotive industry on a national level.
Hmm.
I've been involved with several different organizations. I've owned my own business for 38 years.
Hmm.
Today, my business runs without me. Okay. So basically, I'm looking at numbers, making sure everybody's hitting their mark and where they need to be.
Right.
Started as a mechanic, went to a salesperson, went to a shop owner. That's basically so I've done quite a bit
So
of
your
the
path has
automotive.
been pretty non-linear.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you've kind of jumped all over the place. There's not really a straight delineation.
Exactly.
as to where you were. You kind of jumped from aspect to aspect, and that's pretty cool. I never hear about salesmen and car salesmen transitioning to maintenance, or it seems like the people who are that I've met, at least, who are in the automotive industry, are kind of one or the other. But you've done it
Right.
all, sounds like.
hmm I've seen the perspective from a lot of different ends of the stick. I really have.
Mhm.
The automotive industry has been very beneficial to me, and the last 5 years is giving back to the automotive industry is my goal.
Mhm.
Bringing them information, the automotive industry, information from different industries that serve the automotive repair industry. And that's
Mhm.
why you're here to talk about AI and tell us what's the
Absolutely.
crazy wild things that are coming. What can we expect? Because the biggest thing that's talked about right now is techs. That's your best technician you get. They're worried that AI is going to take their jobs away from them. It's going to
So
affect their jobs, but I think it'll make their jobs better.
yeah, exactly. So I don't think, I think that people, what people get wrong about that is that AI by itself is not going to come take your job. Somebody who uses AI is going to come take your job. And that's why it is very important that while these tools are fresh and while there's not a lot of widespread adoption, you get in on the ground floor while these developments are being made. Because more than ever, I mean, because if you're worried about AI coming and taking your job, then I mean, why aren't you then using it to maximize your current capability?
You
If
already
you're
know how
so worried
strong it
about
is.
exactly, if you're so worried about this thing coming and taking your job, why aren't you taking control of it? Why are you not hopping on and trying to control that curve? Why are you not getting in on the ground floor where you can make a difference?
Because they're
And that's
scared, I believe. I believe they don't understand AI.
Well, and see, John, the reason for that, the reason for a lot of that actually, is because the media has not been kind to our collective imaginations when it comes to AI. You got films
Yes,
like Terminator, you got films like The Matrix, I, Robot, all these, all these tales of machines doing terrible things to human beings, and unfortunately, that's where people get their frame of reference from,
exactly.
and
And that's
and
old school me.
yeah. No, and unfortunately, it can be a tough mindset to shake. But what it really is about, especially now, is decoupling the real from the fictional. And I think that's right now that education and training piece right now is going to be the big thing in the coming weeks and months. Is people need a consistent source of education that's not just some guy spouting tech jargon at them. It
Yes,
needs to connect on a human level. And again, that's why Mental Forge just does what we do. We believe that all of us, we as people, as as experts in our areas of expertise, are the key to unlocking the true potential of these tools, and bringing them as well as us into the future with them.
And I wanted to talk about, since we're talking about the negative view of AI, I wanted to open this conversation up a little bit here because it's a common fear with younger people, or a common gripe. A big view on AI, and why I feel personally the younger generation doesn't like it, is the art side of AI. Right. And John, I'll try to explain this to you a little bit in the way that might make sense for the automotive world, a one-to-one. So AI, whenever Michael Gunther makes those beautiful photos of people
Big
dressed
Bird.
up how
Yes.
they weren't actually dressed up, correct?
Well,
um
Miss Doubtfire, you can say
yeah,
what you want to about her.
sure. So the AI itself doesn't create anything on its own. We feed it information and it creates things based off of what we feed it. So we are literally almost kind of raising a computer robot child in a way, right? It can only do what we give it. So whenever somebody says, hey, make me a painting on AI, it's pulling from information it's already received, other artists' work, to create this artwork. And that doesn't sit well with a lot of younger people because they feel like, hey, one, you're taking money away from artists, but two, you're stealing other people's work, that's kind of like when people go to Quickie Lube or wherever, and they get the scans done on their car when they should have just gone to the shop, got the scans, and they could have taken care of the problem. So, with that being said, I want to make sure that business owners are cautious when it comes to their marketing and utilizing AI. Because a lot of younger generations who that doesn't sit well with them, if they see that you're on Facebook, your company's on Facebook, or your website is hosting a lot of AI art, that may deter business from you. They will see that and they say, me personally, if I go to your website or your wherever and I see you're using AI art, I'm probably not going to do business with you.
Yeah, so there are a few layers to this, Don.
Mhm.
So let's break down that process that you just talked about a minute ago, right? So when an artist has an impulse to create, they draw from their influences, right? I mean, they have this whole what's the word, reservoir of creative material that they've stored in their heads, and they use those influences to create their own art, right? You just described AI doing the exact same thing. So our processes aren't that different.
Mhm.
Now, having said that, I do believe that you should not be handing off your creativity to a machine entirely. I believe that AI can be great for finding techniques, finding the structural stuff for your art, finding and refining that structural the scaffolding that your art sits on. I think AI is great for. But when it comes to the actual creation, I think that that should absolutely be left to people. I'm not one of those people that just because I'm pro AI does not make me anti-artist. I very much want to support human artists as much as I can, and that means showing them that hey, your preconceptions on AI, they're not quite correct
Mhm.
because you can totally use AI in a way that strengthens your art rather than takes away from it. And I think that's what a lot of people are struggling to understand right now.
Yes, definitely. And so I just started my new semester at college on Monday. One of the classes I'm taking is, I'm going to mess up the name, but it's something along the lines of business computer applications. And I was really surprised to see, because thus far in my educational journey, all the schooling has been like, hey, no AI use, no AI use, da 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 da. This class says you will be using AI in your studies. And first I was like, oh, that's brand new to me, but I guess it makes sense. Business computer applications, AI is not going away. If anything, it's going to get more prevalent in our day to day. But one thing in my trainings that made me kind of shift my view of AI was one, the moral obligation that we have to use AI in a correct way, right? But second is shifting your view with AI. AI shouldn't be used, at least in this training, what it was stating, as a finished product, but a starting off point, as a way to generate ideas, as a way to help you kind of get on track, but never used as an end all be all finished product, signed, sealed, delivered.
Yep.
And I think that was something I'd never heard before said by anybody, but that I can get behind that.
Do you have any pets, Don?
Yes.
Okay, how many pets do you have?
3 cats, 4 frogs, and a snake.
Okay, so at some point or another, I bet you thought, huh, I could use a third arm for this third cat to pet, right?
Yeah.
You're petting 2 cats, you're like, oh, I could use a third arm, right?
Oh yeah.
I could use a second set of eyes, another pair of ears. How would you like a second brain?
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
that's essentially what you can turn AI into is an external place for your ideas, a second processing lane for your thoughts, and something. Okay, so people have been writing down their ideas for centuries, decades, millennia, but AI is the only technology we have that keeps the full context of that idea. So you can enter that into a thread. I mean, if you're on one night and you have a great idea and you don't you're gonna forget if you don't write it down right now, put it in a GPT. Say, hey, I have this idea for this, and it will hold on to that and remember the context of it later.
We used to
Mhm.
have a little recording device that did that for us
Yeah,
and play it
Mhm.
later.
Well,
Walkman, is
fun
that what it was called?
something like that. Well, funny enough, technically, if you still have those, you could change that to digital media and throw it into AI and it'll transcribe all of that and build stuff for you.
How
So,
exactly.
cool.
still useful. Um, I mean, so I try to limit my AI usage, which will segue into another thing I wanted to ask you about, but I think right now, practically, AI has recently saved my butt. And what I mean by that is I am taking business math right now. First off, 2 plus 2 sometimes equals 5 for me. That's just how my brain is with numbers.
And it should be. As
Yeah,
owner of the business, those are numbers that need to add up the way you need them to add up.
sure. But I'm going into this not taking algebra, and I'm doing math with letters right now. So I'm out of my depth. And my teacher, what we say here in the South, bless his heart, I think he's new because he is just reading from the textbook. That's it. We don't get any explanation. So what I did was take the video of him reading from the textbook, pull the transcript of it, throw it in the AI, and I said, hey, make this into study notes. Beautiful, did it. Boom, 0.5 seconds. And I said, now dumb it down for me. And it said, yeah, sure, no problem. And it dumbed it down for me, and that's really saved my bacon thus far. With that being said, I wanted to ask a little bit. I know another big concern for some people with AI is the environmental factors. Can you tell me what that's looking like currently in regards to these data centers and so on?
Exactly. Ostensibly, you're talking about the data centers, right? So when the data centers first came along, yes, they used to consume water, just to make it totally unusable. And now the data centers are being built to where the water is recycled. It has its own self-contained water cycle. And I think that's what we're moving toward. I think that the data centers that process water just into gas or vapor or whatever it does, I have no idea what these things do, or how it processes the water. But the days of the data centers that run on water and totally exhaust it are coming to a close. It's getting to a point now where each data center will have its own self-contained water cycle to make sure that water is constantly being recycled and used rather than drawing from a new pool, so to speak. No pun intended.
But okay, so now that we've got the nitty gritty, the maybe negative views of AI kind of out of the way, let's start talking about where the world is currently with AI and where you think it might be headed in the next 6 months, year, so on.
Well, so last year around this time, actually, my dad, he consulted one of his GPTs and said, "Hey, just based on the work we've done and the direction we're trying to take this thing, how far ahead of the market would you say we are?" And last year, or between May and maybe the end of July, it said we were about 18 months out. And 18 months out from the fact, or from people realizing that, hey, the education and training piece is what we really need to make this thing work for us. And I mean, right on time, we are finally starting to see that inflection point hit. I think that in the coming months, there are a lot of people who are going to realize that. And first of all, there are a lot of managers, and let's make something else clear. AI, so corporations replacing people with AI, that is not AI's fault. That is a management problem. And I think that what people are going to realize is that they can't put the onus of responsibility on the computer itself. They have to take responsibility for themselves, become more aware of their intent. That's actually something we've been teaching lately is being aware of the result that you are trying to accomplish before you even step into the ring with the tools. Because these tools are trained to make you like them. They are trained to make you want to use them. And so if you don't have a clear picture in your head of what you're trying to accomplish, what your constraints are, what your end result should look like, then the tool is going to drag you all over the place, and you're going to go very fast in the entirely wrong direction. And so I think that's what people are starting to realize is like, hey, this, like anything else, this needs people that are trained and know what they're doing, to make this stuff, to really maximize the use here.
It's kind of like being, well, I was going to give an example, and as my brain was processing it, I said, oh, nope, not a good example. So never mind on that one.
I've got an
John,
example.
okay, let's hear it.
When I first became a mechanic way back yonder in the old days, I remember these guys from Detroit talking about electronic ignition, and then they threw in fuel injection. And that shit ain't gonna stay. That shit ain't gonna work. And you can't buy a carbureted vehicle nowadays at all, period. And the little motors, the little small motors, they've gone away from carburetor. They got a fuel injection system that looks like a carburetor. So yeah, this stuff is here to stay. I believe it's going to change our world and the way we know it. A good friend of mine who's a coach, Rick White with 180 Biz, all of his clients have an option to go to a Rick White, and I'm sorry, it's Rick 2.0 is what they call it. It's AI version of him. So if you can't get a hold of Rick or you can't get a hold of him, you can ask your question and it'll come up in his voice as the answer. It's really cool. So it's amazing to me when you ask the question where we're going to be at 6 months from now with AI. I think every second, every minute, AI is taking in knowledge. If it's not doubling in capacity every second, it's 3 times in itself because it's learning and absorbing and working so fast. It's blowing my old ass mind away.
Well,
You know,
John, it's funny that you mentioned that specific example, that the coach that has the AI voice of himself. Right now,
yeah,
we here at Text Inspect, we are working on a project for the guy who owns it, to basically turn him into a hologram.
yep,
I mean, like we're working on so we had to switch platforms lately, but we have a tech stack that we're using to basically turn him into a hologram. So like he has there's a database set up on a website that his son made. I can't remember what the specifics are, but we're in phase 2 of this project. We're going to plug that into that database, plug his AI avatar into that database, and run the stack on there. And people can ask questions, and then the video with the voice can just answer.
right. That's what they
I
do
mean,
with Rick.
yeah, exactly. And it's proving to be a bit of a challenge. I mean, but it's because these tools, especially now, with this new stack we're running, the tools are so refined and so high quality that there is a very high ceiling as to the quality of the source submissions and things like that. We've been trying to get an avatar made of him all week long, and it's like, this is wrong. You missed this. He's wearing glasses. We're trying to get this done, but as these things continue to increase in quality, there's going to be a lot higher of a ceiling as far as the source material they'll accept, and that kind of thing.
When we first started with AI, we would see the 3 legs, the 3 fingers, maybe not something physically correct about the idea. But today, you just don't run into that no more. I don't see it no more on the social media platforms that people use in AI. You don't see the 3 or 6 fingers or 4 eyeballs or whatever,
Right. Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that as well. Pretty apt. So as I said, we develop like trainings and workshops and frameworks and courses and whatnot. And I developed a course for recognizing synthetic media. And the best part about that is that it is not restricted to what you're watching, because everything that the course teaches, again, is transferable skills: slowing down, analyzing what's really happening. Like, does what I'm seeing on the screen right now make sense? Right. And also looking at the details. Like, does this look right? This little thing in the background, is that just a bunch of letters together, or is that like an actual name of a place?
Is
And
this why I
so,
should ask you, Noah, if you're real or not?
well, and see, here's the thing. Even outside the context of AI, what's real and what's not is questionable at best these days.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, folks, the smile I get, that guy's real.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So Noah, it was nice to sit down and meet you. We recently were in a coaching group together and got to know a little bit about each other and our kind of different industries here. And there was a lot of different types of companies in that room. What companies are you guys currently working with? Like how far spread is AI going in your world?
So right now, like I said, we're partnered with Text Inspect, and the stuff that they are doing with AI is phenomenal. So essentially, they're taking inventory of what platforms their company runs on, basically. So like subscriptions they're paying for to manage workflows and attendance, or not attendance maybe, but like roll call and scheduling. They're looking at stuff like that, stuff that they're having to pay for every month, and saying, well, what if we just build our own stuff and
Mhm.
tailor it specifically to Text Inspect? And they're already doing that. They're cutting costs by doing that.
And for those who don't know, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but Text Inspect is a home inspection company, and their mavens, or the people who can refer them business, are real estate agents. So, like Noah was saying, they're trying to see where is the pain points of the real estate agents, where are they spending money, and how can they make a product so they don't have to go out to these third-party companies. They're able to host that service for them, relieve that pain point, and also be a top of mind for these real estate agents. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. No, no, you nail on the head. That's exactly what they're doing over here. And not even just that. I mean, if even with their own internal operations, I mean, the stuff they're doing over here is phenomenal. Alex and Jonathan are just
Tech
whizzes with this
whizzes.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's phenomenal. And then the other one we're working with right now, there's a bigger one kind of in the works right now. I don't want to, call me superstitious. I don't want to jinx it by talking about it.
Sure.
But the other one we're looking at is, or that we're working with right now is BAM TV, BAM 3000. I don't know if you guys heard of them. They're an advertising company here in North Texas. They have a bunch of screens all over restaurants and establishments all over North Texas, and we're essentially creating ads for them. And nothing, and we're so basically what we're doing is we're making ads by basically distilling the essence of what their brand is. So, if we have a framework where we take a company's website, we run it through one of our GPT projects, and it'll distill, whether the company is intending or not, it'll distill what their brand is actually, what brand is actually being put out there versus what they're meaning to put out there, right? And that's just one side of things. But then we take that essence and we feed it to whatever video gen project or video gen software we're using at the moment, and we create ads based on that company's basically digital essence. And so we've been doing that for the past couple months or so. Uh, so yeah, I mean, as we said, that marketing stuff like that. I mean, the applications for that and with AI are huge. Um, and then, I mean, even beyond that, I mean, you know, as we said earlier, a lot of people are scared of AI, and so that our partnerships, right? As of the past year or so, have been pretty scant, but uh, we're finally, gaining some headway, getting some traction. But I think that we're going to find out a lot more about what AI can do for all different types of industries over the coming months and years. So I
Mhm.
think that's just a very brief glimpse of what we're going to see.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like, sometimes maybe with blue collar jobs, people might think like mechanics. They might think, oh, AI has no place in what I'm doing, yada, yada. AI has a place in almost every business. It's as simple as going to AI and being like, here is and John, I'm going to butcher a lot of this. Don't laugh at me. Here are the vehicles we have on the roster today. Set up my schedule to be the most time efficient, right? Like
What kind of
little
person would be
things.
the best buyer for this vehicle?
Yeah, yeah. If you have,
I
Exactly.
mean,
That's already in process. They're doing
yeah.
that.
yeah, exactly. So it's there. I think there's a place for AI in every person's life. I mean, students, business owners, parents even can utilize AI to help them out. Um, Tell me a little bit about, and I maybe I don't understand the phrase because we talked about it a little bit via email. Creative system overlap. What does that mean?
That means essentially, creating generalized systems with AI that can be applied to all different types of industries, right? So in car sales, in sales in general, lead collection is a huge thing there, right? Whether you do sales on furniture, cars, anything of the type, lead collection is always going to be a factor. And so people can, and there's already one out now. It's called Apollo AI, where you can like basically comb social media for warm leads, numbers, email addresses, phone numbers, that kind of thing. And when you begin generalizing that, it becomes easier to create niche systems for the different types of things that exist within that umbrella.
John, I know we're throwing a lot of stuff here. You
I'm so blown away. I have no clue where to go. I'm just sitting there going, blah, 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 blah.
That's what that's what I'm doing. I'm checking in, making sure you're good. If you had any questions, I know this is a whole new world for you as well. Like
Yeah.
you've been in conversations and stuff, but just want to make sure you're good.
I have a really close friend of mine named Brian Walker with Shop Marketing Pros, and he's doing a class on AI and how to help you do your marketing and stuff like that. And I don't do marketing, so I never sat down and listened to him. But after going through this with you, Noah, I'm going to listen to Brian's class on how AI can help my business become better. And then what you said about taking my website, running it through your box and shaking it up and figuring out how to marketing, get me leads for sales. I'm thinking, golly, this is way more powerful than what I ever dreamed of.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
no. So our ideal kind of clientele at Mental Forge are people that are familiar with AI, maybe even use it every day, but they haven't really peeled back the curtain to see what these things are truly capable of. That's where our sweet spot is. We like, hey, there's a lot more of this than you thought there was.
And no, what kind of classes are available right now? What do y'all got going on in regards to training at Mental Forge?
All right, so we have we're kind of restructuring our training ladder, but everything begins with Fusion Foundations. So it is an asynchronous course, or you can come take the in-person workshop. It's every third Thursday here at Texan Spec in North Richland Hills, and you can come. It's a 2-hour workshop. There's like I said, things are kind of being restructured and redesigned right now, but the workshops are consistent. They're online as well as in person, and it's really just that kind of opening that most people need to really step back and see, oh, I can use this for way more than just Googling stuff. And I feel like
So,
that's what a lot of people use it as is a search engine, and it's like, well, you can use it for a search engine, but
Sure,
it's way more than that.
sure.
you're doing a live class at Texan Spec,
Mhm.
and you're doing it online as you're doing your class. Somebody could log in and attend the class someplace else in the United States and
So
be involved in your class.
as far as the live workshop, we only do that in person. However, we have an asynchronous course, which is that has the workshop content
Right.
online. So if you want to take it at your own pace, you can totally do that. But the reason we don't offer hybrid stuff is so that the people that are in the room with us can get the most out of our time and attention, rather than having to, cater to people that aren't even in the room.
Exactly. Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, if they're in the room, if they've paid to be there, we want to make sure they get the most from us.
So your attendance, are you limited to how many people can be in that classroom, or are you filling the whole place up?
Fill the whole place up, man. So, I mean, this is just a little bit of a sneak peek. So, we're actually looking for some founding mentors. We're looking to kind of build a small cohort of people who can essentially help mentor the populace to help them learn AI. I mean, it's again very beginning stages right now, but that's kind of where we're headed and what we're looking for as a company right now.
That is so cool. Yeah. Opportunity is what I'm thinking for old people that don't understand AI. So how far out are you? Say I wanted to attend your class. Could I attend it next Thursday, or do I got to wait and
Next
get on a
Thursday is
list?
actually
Or
the day.
say that again.
I said next Thursday is actually the next workshop we're doing.
And you have room for poor people to jump in then.
Absolutely.
Sweet. So we're not too overloaded. I love that. I love
Yes.
it.
So in addition, so John, where are you located?
My business is in Fort Worth. I'm out in Weatherford.
Okay, gotcha. So had a thought. I don't know where it went. It just, oh yeah. So no, it went again. Oh, here's what I was going to say. So, in addition to the workshops, we also do a free event every first Monday at the North Tarrant Chamber of Commerce. We simply call it AI at the Chamber, and it's based. It's a another 2 hour session. It begins with a 30-minute instructional period on like some facet or concept regarding AI. And then
Right.
the rest of it is just answering questions, troubleshooting, and doing live demos of the stuff we developed.
Cool. And that's with the North Chambers. That's Tarrant County, Fort Worth.
Yes.
I get an email from them talking about different things. I remember seeing this email talking about your training class.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty good. Our attendance has risen pretty steadily. So we did it 4 weeks in a row, and then we dropped it back down to one a month. So I'm excited to see how much new interest gets developed for the next run.
So are you looking at trying to gain clients by doing that training, or are you looking at giving back?
A little bit of both, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're comfortable giving this stuff away because there's more work to be done than we'll ever be able to do in our lifetime.
Right.
And so people know that what we have, the stuff we developed, has value, and they see that right in front of their eyes when they come to these when they come to these half or 2 hour training courses at the chamber. And not only that, the people here at Tax Inspect, they're very generous with their time and their space. And I've been fortunate enough to have an audience with a whole community of people who are interested in this stuff, who see Mike, the owner, just advancing every single day. I mean, he's been on the forefront of technology since the 80s with his
Correct.
business. So I mean, he is constantly trying to push things forward. And I think that the people who are seeing him move forward that way are becoming more and more interested in the people that he's beginning to surround himself with. I mean, he moved my dad and I into one of his Tech Inspect buildings. So like we office out of his business now, which is fantastic.
Right.
So like he's really beginning to surround himself with people who are fluent with this technology, who are constantly researching it, studying it, and that in turn is spilling over into his professional community, his inspector community. And so we're always in the room with people who are looking to leverage this technology, and I think that it's gonna begin to apply to more industries than just this one, very very soon.
For those people out there who may dabble with AI or aren't really implementing it to the best of their ability, let's keep it simple. What are 3 things, and if you don't have 3 off the top of your head, no worries. What are 3 things that somebody can do today with AI to implement it into their business to better serve them?
Talk to it. Talk to it. Like you can't use something if you don't understand it. So ask it what its strengths are. Ask it what it does best. Ask it what it's not. Excuse me. Ask it what it's not so good at.
So
Because
where
you
do
can
you
only.
find it to talk to it?
I mean, you can use any type of GPT. I mean, there's Google Gemini. There's
Okay,
Microsoft
what is
Copilot.
GTPT?
John,
What?
so he
You're
works with
I think
talking
I might
over
have
my
leveled over
head, What are you talking
he
about?
works with people who have a baseline understanding. John, remember when I came to the office last week and I said, "Hey, I've made a shortcut for you. It's your AI. This is how you use AI." So what he's saying, you go to that shortcut I made for you, and then you start talking to it.
But what
Yes,
happens if
exactly.
I didn't have a shortcut?
You Google AI.
Just Google it. All right. See, so all those old people, we understand the Google part. Google AI, click on a button that says AI, and start talking to it.
Well, be careful, but yeah.
Be
Yeah.
careful. Yes, obviously, be very careful. And just to give you guys, earlier when I was talking about how these tools can do some damage in untrained
Right.
or unscrupulous hands, I'm going to give you just a quick little anecdote that I found in my research on that topic. So there was an executive working for a company in Hong Kong who was on a Zoom call with several other executives from that company, right? And these executives asked him to make an exorbitant transfer into one of their accounts. He did it, and it turns out that these executives were never in the room. They were thieves wearing the executives' faces. with deep fakes, all constructed from publicly available footage of these people. And that's something that people need to, especially the older generation, the people that are kind of susceptible to scams and whatnot. I mean, we have to be sharper and smarter than ever before when interacting with this technology. And it's going to require a lot more than just blind trust. For instance, in a situation like that where you transfer, I believe the sum was 25 million to people who essentially robbed your company. After that, there needs to be some type of third-party verification if you're on a call with somebody.
Exactly.
You would have to call from like a non-public line or a private line and say, hey, you're on. Yes, we're on, and then we'll do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it is going to force us to again become sharper and smarter because we have to be.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Force. Some people use it for good, and some people not so much.
And we don't need AI powered scammers.
No, we don't need any
AI what?
AI Siths. We don't need any AI bad guys. Star Wars. You ever seen Star Wars?
No.
Oh my God. Okay.
I've seen pieces of it and stuff
I'm
like
just as
that. And
appalled as
Rick's
you are,
a huge
Don. My
fan of
God.
Star Wars. So is Big Bird.
Rick would be so disappointed. Rick would be so disappointed.
Exactly. That's a different world that I'm in. You know,
All right.
I like John Wayne. Bite me.
Well,
That's
hey,
fine.
we can use AI to put John Wayne into Star Wars. Maybe you'll watch
There
it.
we
then.
go.
That's
Let's
totally
play.
yeah, we can totally do that now. That is a thing.
Another
I
thing.
love that.
Another thing with just security, because you might be thinking like, oh yeah, I'm not on Zoom. I'm not going to be video chatting and sending people money. They can utilize AI to, it's happened before, mimic loved ones and then call you based off of that. And it sounds like your loved one's on the line saying, hey, I got pulled over. I have to go to jail. I need you to send me money for my bail. So like, just be vigilant, be careful, be safe. Don't be putting, especially if you're not paying for your AI service and you're using these free ones, be hesitant about putting personal information, your address, your anything, right?
Well, we also talked about using it for business, right? Be careful about putting work documents in there.
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT is one that I'd recommend shying away from entirely when it comes to doing work. We recommend a platform like Claude or something like that, where it is engineered for privacy. I mean, it's a toggle slider now, but you can turn it on, and that's the important part. You don't want to be uploading documents into a platform where anybody can look it up and find it.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to be protective of that. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And
Yep.
don't think that this conversation you're having with AI is like your therapist, because your information, your chat logs can be taken from there, can be seen. Example for you, John, there was and I'm going to butcher this a lot, but it doesn't matter. There was a owner of a gaming company. He had promised bonuses to the employees that basically said, if you get the game finished before this date, you get a bonus. Well, that date came, they got it finished. He utilized AI to try to figure out a way to screw them over on the money. And he did that. He fired the main guy and nobody got their bonus. Well, they took him to court. They pulled those AI transcripts and the guy had to rehire that guy and give the guys the bonus. Now, that's not exactly what happened, but that's just an example of, hey, everything you say to AI, it's not confidential. So don't be looking up weird stuff.
And it doesn't go away and it stays there forever.
Yeah. And
It's
again,
like a recording.
Don, was that decision AI's fault?
No.
Again,
And honestly,
no, it was the crook that got caught.
It was best that he used AI because his slimy ass got caught, honestly. But, just be careful about giving personal information and what you tell AI. If you wouldn't want someone to hear you say it, you probably shouldn't be putting it into AI.
Yeah. That's
why'd you give me that
good rule of
shortcut?
thumb.
What was that, John?
Then why did you give me that shortcut?
True. That's what I told you when I set it up. I said, hey, and I can see everything you put, so don't do any weird shit. And you're like, I'm not doing
Exactly.
it.
I remember that. Everything I'm going to do is weird compared to you.
Well, Noah, if somebody was interested in getting in contact with you, picking your brain, signing up for what Mental Forge Media has going on, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, so you can get a hold of us on the Mental Forge website. You can also, if you really want to, you can get in touch with Dawn, and she can pass along my info.
Mhm.
I have, I'm always at Text Inspect. I'm not going to give the address. I'll look it up on Google Maps, but you can find me there. I'm an organizer for the local 1 Million Cups chapter. So if you are an entrepreneur yourself and are in the North Richland Hills area, come join us every Wednesday morning, and you'll more than likely find me up there on the stage. And yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being on. This honestly was fantastic. And it's nice to have someone else talk about AI in front of John so he doesn't think I'm just making shit up. So that's always nice as
You
well.
do make shit up.
I do. But at least trust but verify, right? You got Nelly
Yes.
here to
Dump the
tell
chump.
you.
Yes.
Yeah. When he leaves, I'll start telling you some other crazy stuff. But yeah, I appreciate it so much.
Thank you for having
I-
me, guys. I appreciate you having me up.
No, it was great having you. I enjoyed the education that you gave me. That was cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
Glad to hear it, John.
Hey, you're not running this shop alone, and we want to hear your voice in this community. Got a story, a challenge, a question you want us to tackle? Scan the QR code or hit the link in the notes and send it our way. You might just hear it on a future episode.